Dears, hope you all went through the previous videos of the chapter The Shehnai of Bismillah Khan. Today we can cover the remaining paragraphs of this chapter from paragraph 6 onwards. So let's begin. At the age of 14, Bismillah accompanied his uncle to the Allahabad Music Conference. At the end of his recital, Ustad Faiz Khan patted the young boy's back and said, "Work hard and you shall make it." With the opening of the All India Radio in Lucknow in 1938 came Bismillah's big break. He soon became an often heard Shehnai player on radio. So listen, when Bismillah Khan was only 14 years old, he accompanied his maternal uncle Ali Bakhsh to the Allahabad Music Conference. The word meaning of recital is performance. So there they met Ustad Fayaz Khan, who was a renowned classical vocalist, and he was very much impressed by young Bismillah Khan's performance, and said that if he would work hard like that, he would make a name in the field of music. And then we can have a note of All India Radio. It was in 1938. All India radio station at Lucknow started, and Ustad Bismillah Khan started performing from there also. And often his Shehnai performance would be on air, and it was a big break in his life too. Next paragraph. When India gained independence on 15 August 1947, Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to greet the nation with his Shehnai. He poured his heart out into Rag Kafi from the Red Fort to an audience, which included Mahatma Gandhi and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who later gave his famous Tryst with Destiny speech. So the incident that explaining here was given to you in the introduction of this chapter itself. It is said like Ustad Bismillah Khan was the first Indian to greet the entire nation through his Shehnai on the day of India's independence. He played the Shehnai from the Red Fort on this memorable occasion. Okay, and the name of the raga he played on that day was Rag Kafi, and the place he played that raga by using Shehnai was at Red Fort. So only after his performance, Jawaharlal Nehru, India's first Prime Minister, gave his famous speech, Tryst with Destiny. Okay, so Bismillah Khan made that incident or that occasion, not incident, that occasion an auspicious one also. Moving on to next paragraph. Bismillah Khan has given many memorable performances both in India and abroad. His first trip abroad was to Afghanistan, where King Zahir Shah was so taken in by the maestro that he gifted him priceless Persian carpets and other souvenirs. The King of Afghanistan was not the only one to be fascinated with Bismillah's music. Film director Vijay Bhatt was so impressed after hearing Bismillah play at a festival that he named a film after the instrument called Gunj Udi Shehnai. The film was a hit, and one of Bismillah Khan's compositions, Dil Ka Khilona Hai Toot Gaya, turned out to be a nationwide chartbuster. Despite this huge success in the celluloid world, Bismillah Khan's ventures in film music were limited to two: Vijay Bhatt's Gunj Udi Shehnai and Vikram Srinivas' Kannada venture Sanathi Appanna. I just can't come to terms with the artificiality and glamour of the film world, he says with emphasis. Taken in by means attracted or charmed by. So when it's me, things given in memory of a place, person, or event. And this paragraph tells us that Bismillah Khan gave many performances in India and abroad. Some of them are memorable, like the one at Afghanistan. At that time, Afghanistan's king was the King Zahir Shah, and he really liked Bismillah Khan's performance, and so he gifted Bismillah Khan many things which were made in Afghanistan, like Persian carpets, etc. And so Ustad Bismillah Khan would remember his first visit abroad, that was to Afghanistan. Okay, so his first visit to abroad was to Afghanistan. And there were many other people also who were attracted to Bismillah's Shehnai music. And there was a Hindi movie called Goon Judi Shehnai by a famous film director Vijay Bhatt. And this film director really liked the sound of Shehnai played by Bismillah Khan. And that is why he named his movie like Goon Judi Shehnai, because of his love to the sound of the Shehnai. Okay, that's why he named his film as Goon Judi Shehnai. And the word meaning of chartbuster means record breaker. Normally we'll be saying for films as chartbuster of this week, like that we'll be telling like. And there was a song in that movie Goon Judi Shehnai. It will goes like this: Dil ka khilona hai toot gaya, and that music was composed by Ustad Bismillah Khan. Okay, and that music became a chart buster. Means it broke all records. Okay, and celluloid. The word meaning of celluloid is old-fashioned way of referring to films. In olden days, we won't say like film, cinema like that. We'll be telling like celluloid. And the word meaning of venture is project that often involves risk, or something which has a lot of risk. That is what is venture. Okay, so that song was a chartbuster, and Bismillah Khan got a lot of success in this film. But he composed only music for two films. One is this one, Goon Judi Shehnai by Vijay Bhatt, and the other one was a Kannada movie made by a film director called Vikram Srinivas, and the name of that film is Sanathi Aparna. Only these are the two movies in which Bismillah Khan worked. Okay, because he'll often say like that he did not like the artificial world of films, or he don't like the glamour in the film world. Okay, so that's why he didn't compose music for many movies. He made music only for two movies. The word meaning of emphasis is to lay stress on something. Okay, so he was not at all fascinated, he was not at all interested in the glamour or artificiality that he felt in the film world. He wanted to make music freely. He don't want to sit inside a particular barrier like that. So he didn't work for many films. Next paragraph. Awards and recognition came thick and fast. Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to be invited to perform at the prestigious Lincoln Center Hall in the United States of America. He also took part in the World Exposition in Montreal, in the Cannes Art Festival, and in the Osaka Trade Fair. So well known did he become internationally that an auditorium in Tehran was named after him, Tahar Musiqi Ustad Bismillah Khan. Thick and fast means he got a lot of awards and was recognized at many places. Okay, so Bismillah Khan got a lot of recognition and he was honored with many awards. He performed all over the world. He performed in United States of America at the Lincoln Center Hall. Then he got a chance to perform in Montreal at Australia in the World Exposition. Then he got a performance at Cannes Art Festival. And then he performed in Japan at the Osaka Trade Fair. So thus he got many chances to perform all over the world. Tehran is located in Iran. And Bismillah Khan was so famous all over the world that in Tehran. So an auditorium has been named after him. Okay, as Tahar Musiqi Ustad Bismillah Khan. An auditorium is also there in his name, as he was such a famous personality. Then national awards like the Padma Shri, the Padma Bhushan, and the Padma Vibhushan were conferred on him. In 2001, Ustad Bismillah Khan was awarded India's highest civilian award, the Bharat Ratna, with the coveted award resting on his chest and his eyes glinting with rare happiness. He said, "All I would like to say is teach your children music. That is Hindustan's richest tradition. Even the West is now coming to learn our music. So the word meaning of conferred is given, that is usually an award or a degree, and the word meaning of coveted means much desired. So his awards are listed in the paragraph number 10, as he got Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan, etc. And most of the top, he got the highest civilian award, Bharat Ratna also. He received Bharat Ratna in the year 2001. So at that time, while he received that award, his eyes were shining. Okay, he was very happy because his hard work had been recognized, and he gave an important message to the country also at that moment. He told all the Indians to teach music to their children. He states a reason for that also. He says that music is the richest tradition of India. And he even said, like, even the Western countries wanted to learn India's music. We know that many foreigners are coming here. Even now also many foreigners are coming here to learn our tradition, our music, our dance, our cultures, etc. And now also we know that now it's a time in this corona period, Indians are getting what much attention from the whole world. All of the world are talking and discussing about India. So we can be proud as an Indian, right? So we have our own tradition, our own cultures, and we are able to attract others also to India. So before that also, Bismillah Khan told us to teach or learn music, and it is Hindustan's richest tradition. Next paragraph. In spite of having travelled all over the world, Khan Saab, as he is fondly called, is exceedingly fond of Benares and Dumraon, and they remain for him the most wonderful towns of the world. A student of his once wanted him to head a Shehnai school in the USA, and the student promised to recreate the atmosphere of Benares by replicating the temples there. But Khan Saab asked him if he would be able to transport river Ganga as well. Later he is remembered to have said, "That is why whenever I am in a foreign country, I keep to see Hindustan. While in Mumbai, I think of only Benares and the holy Ganga, and while in Benares, I miss the unique Matha of Dumraon." This paragraph explains, like, although Ustad Bismillah Khan has traveled all over the world, he given so much respect and recognition, he remained rooted. And Benares, where he learned music, and Dumraon, it was the birthplace of Bismillah Khan. They were the two most wonderful towns of the world for him. Okay, he was so down to earth that although he had traveled all over the world, still he was attached to his birthplace, and he was called Khan Saab. He was called like that. Once a student of Bismillah Khan asked him to set up a Shehnai school in USA, and that student promised that he would recreate the temples of Benares in America, so that Bismillah Khan would never feel like he missed it. Okay, and he was very much attached to river Ganga also. So Bismillah Khan asked his student that if he could transport river Ganga also to America. Okay, so we can understand that he was very much attracted, or not attracted. We can say like he was very much attached to India, to Indian culture, river Ganga, his birthplace, etc. He don't want to leave India. He was attached not only to the temples of Benares but also to the holy river Ganga. Replicating means making a copy of something. Yearning, the word meaning of yearning is longing, means having a long desire for something. And Bismillah Khan said that whenever he visited any foreign country, he longed to see India. He will feel nostalgia. Like he wanted to come back. Homesickness he'll be feeling. Not nostalgia. He'll be feeling homesickness. He wanted to come back to India anyway. And he then says, like when he was in India, in Mumbai, he yearned to visit Benares and the Ganga River. And when he was in Benares, he was his birthplace, Dumravan. And the Matha where he sang Chaita and was rewarded with the laddu of 1.25 kg weight by the Maharaja. Moving on to the last paragraph. Ustad Bismillah Khan's life is a perfect example of the rich cultural heritage of India, one that effortlessly accepts that a devout Muslim like him can very naturally play the Shehnai every morning at the Kashi Vishwanath temple. Devout means believing strongly in a religion and obeying its laws and following its practices. And here the writer says that Ustad Bismillah Khan was a perfect example of the rich cultural heritage of India. Okay, he worked beyond religion barriers. He was a strict Muslim. He followed the Muslim laws. But every morning he would play the Shehnai at the Kashi Vishwanath temple. And it was a Hindu temple, obviously. This shows that he did not have the barriers of religion in his mind. He was a true Indian. We could say like that. He was a true Indian. He was not a Muslim, he was not a Hindu. He was a true Indian. He considered music to be India's richest cultural heritage also. And he passed away on 21st August 2006 at the age of 90 after a prolonged illness. And he was given a state funeral also, and the government of India declared one day of national mourning due to his demise. And that was the end of the chapter. We can work with the exercise later, and in the next video I'll be meeting you with another chapter. Thank you.